This idea that British officials were misrepresenting the Americans to London was really the consensus position of the Patriots for many years. And it had an important impact on the ways that colonists organized their resistance. On the one hand, this conversation about misrepresentation undermined British political authority. For more than a century, British leaders in the colonies had wielded the power to define what was true and what was false. They had been able to prosecute people for spreading false news and had often been able to restrain printers and other news mediators from spreading information that they didn't like. It was rare for colonists to challenge the British government's ability to define truth. If you're familiar with the famous case of John Peter Zenger, the New York printer, who was acquitted on charges of seditious libel against the colony's governor, that's noteworthy because it was exceptional, right? Not because that was the norm. In fact, similar prosecutions happened for years after that. Really, it wasn't until the 1760s that British American colonists started to consistently challenge colonial administrators' authority as tellers of truth. In 1769, for example, one writer in the Patriot newspaper, the Boston Gazette, explained that Governor Francis Bernard was the colony's highest authority, but that didn't make him the colony's best authority. In other words, just because the colonists needed to obey Bernard and other leaders, that didn't mean that they should trust him.